instrument is what it is. It has such a small range and it's only 4 strings. I fell in love with the limitations of the instrument because I never saw the limitations as something that would hold me back.
We're here at the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival. I have Tad Nakamura. You tell us about your film, what film you're presenting here at the Film Fest.
Yeah, my film is Jake Shimabukuro, Life on 4 Strings, and it's an hour-long documentary on the ukulele virtuoso Jake Shimabukuro. We followed him for 2.5 years, and a lot of things happened both personally and professionally. So it's pretty much about those 2 years, but as well as his rise to fame and why people consider him a virtuoso.
So let's get into it. How in the world did you first hear about him? When did you first meet him, and then secondly, when did it hit in your head and go, I got to do a film on this guy?
Well, actually, this was I was actually commissioned to do the film. So Center for Asian American Media and Pacific Islanders in Communication, they had already pretty much secured funds and approached Jake and his people, and so he was on board. So by the time the producer of the film, Don Young, hired me on, everything was pretty much set. So it's an ideal situation for a director. Yeah. But at the same time, I really didn't know too much about him. I had heard his name and saw some of clips on YouTube here and there, but really didn't know much about his work. And so it was good because I kind of came in with a blank slate. And but our first shoot, that's when my mind got blown. I think when you say, even when someone says, hey, do you want to make a film on a ukulele player who doesn't sing, you're like, okay, I need a job, but that's kind of weird. But as the first time I heard him play, he just kind of blew me away. Not only just with the type of music he plays, the variety, but also too just his stage presence and just how kind of much of a pro he is.
He makes people want to believe in him. He has that kind of a magic.
Now we see some old footage. So in the film, do we get to really see when he first discovers that he's that good at the ukulele?
Yeah, well, I think he really is a virtuoso. So he started playing when he was 4, and I don't think there was really a moment. He was always good. You know what I mean? But there's definitely he started off with a band, and then he created his solo career. But I think it's one of those things where he always knew how good he was, and I think the people around him, and it was just basically the rest of the world had to catch up. Most kids do, at least in Hawaii, most kids do grow up with the ukulele in their house. Kind of like the recorder or the clarinet here, where you're either forced to do it or that's the instrument in your elementary school. So that's kind of the same for the ukulele in Hawaii. But at the same time, I think he definitely separated himself from the rest of the pack. And yeah, I think he approached it differently. Like, he grew up on traditional Hawaiian music, and that's his favorite type of music to play. But at the same time, he liked to just rock out on it. He learned jazz standards as well as he can cover pop tunes on it.
Tell me about the chemistry you two have to have, because you guys have to have an insane amount of chemistry to make this film right. Can you tell me a little bit about what how you guys got that chemistry and what it's like now?
Yeah, well, luckily, I think in ways we're very, very similar. We're pretty close in age. He's 4th generation Japanese. I'm 4th generation Japanese American. He's 5th generation Japanese American. So I think little things like that. In a way, he's like one of my cousins or one of the guys I grew up with. Yeah. And I think that actually helped with his family too, because it wasn't like I was, a total outsider. Especially by their first year of shooting. They welcomed me into their house, and I think that really established the trust of both his family and Jake. And I think that's the key to any kind of good film is trusting the director with the subject. And I think I was just also real lucky to have him as my subject, because someone at his stature could really be could be a jerk, could be totally just not wanting to give me the time of day. But Jake was as generous as anyone could be with his time.
All right, if you want to find out more about his journey and the film, it's Life on 4 Strings, and it's playing here at the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.